NYU has very good labs, professors, very good teams. Here, teachers are a lot more open. India also has great colleges for engineering. New York is firstly very expensive. NYU is also very expensive. Looking for internship, looking for on-campus job. Brooklyn is much cheaper than Manhattan. They sent us a link to the NYU admits Facebook group. Keep listing on-campus job opportunities on Handshake. NYU is
All
a
right.
big college and jobs are limited. Like in India, companies come to college for placement. यहाँ पे वैसा नहीं होता. Tesla is very selective. Amazon India में TCS के जैसा है. But तुम्हें पता होना चाहिए कि मेरा इंटरेस्ट क्या है. Opportunities बहुत हैं यहाँ पे. Get that exposure from the professors कि हाँ ये सब इंडस्ट्री में होता है. ऐसे मैं खुद को प्रिपेयर कर सकता हूँ.
Hello everyone, I am Nishit from College Junior Study Abroad channel. Today we have Aditya Shukla studying Masters in Mechanical from New York University. New York University is a 33 ranked college in the US by the US News. And Aditya has done his mechanical from BIT and his GRE score was 323. So Aditya, welcome to College Junior channel. Please walk us through your journey so far.
Yeah, okay. So after finishing school, like I took the JEE, सब लेते हैं engineering में जाने के लिए, and I ended up at VIT in Chennai, and I was pretty clear कि मेरे को mechanical करना है. I had been interested in automobiles and like systems from a very young age, so I was clear about that. So got into VIT. VIT में I tried to do as many projects as many extracurriculars as I could do. So we had a Baha team, and as part of that, you build your own car, combustion engine car, and your national events होते हैं.
So, yes, I have seen in every college they have some guy who's making all the cars and all those racing cars. So I've seen one of the photograph at your LinkedIn DP also. So is it from India or you have built that in your college right now?
So that is from VIT. That is from my team in VIT.
So yes.
We made that there, and it's a really good experience, and like I highly recommend it for everyone because जो भी तुम क्लास में पढ़ रहे हो, you get to apply it completely like hands-on and get a lot of experience. You learn from a lot of mistakes that you make. So it's definitely a great experience. And sometime towards the end of my third year, the COVID pandemic happened and everything went online. So classes were also online and we had some more free time. So उस time पे I decided कि masters के लिए we can also think about going abroad. So
okay. तो फिर GRE कब दिया था? Like when did you give the GRE?
Yeah. So I think it was October of 2020.
All right.
I was initially considering GATE, but my parents also said that like you wanted to go abroad and like US has some great colleges also, so you can also like think about that if you want. So I said okay. GRE देने का मेरा उतना strict वो नहीं था कि मेरे को GRE ही देना है यही करना है, because India also has great colleges for engineering. तो मेरा ये था कि either or मतलब चलेगा मेरे को. So I think like this is how I function. I don't recommend this to everyone, but I thought that if I set myself a deadline कि मेरे को इतने time में ये prepare करना है, so I'll be able to do it better. Right. So it was October and I scheduled my GRE for November, first week.
November. So you will not just in a month, right? You decided to go abroad and you booked your GRE date in a month. That is amazing. So and you started preparing then only, like in a month you prepared for GRE. All right.
So third year, so like I only had one course because most of my credits were completed by that time. And fourth year में वैसे ही मतलब courses होते हैं placements का ही prepare करना होता है.
तो काफी सारा टाइम समय था prepare करने के लिए. Right. वैसे ये बहुत ही ऐसा ये बहुत nerd type stuff है कि in a month you are giving GRE.
So I didn't subscribe to any preparation service or any coaching for GRE. Like I got a book. एक book आती है which has a lot of MCQs, all different sections. So I had that.
The guide वाला thing, right?
Yeah. वही. तो थोड़ा उससे idea लग जाता है तो.
So you decided for NYU after giving the GRE or you had certain colleges in your mind? What was your shortlist? And I would also like to know about where did you got the acceptance or where did you got the rejections and something like that.
Right. So I had a few colleges in mind. So I knew that Michigan Ann Arbor is really good for mechanical. ASU is also good. NYU is good in terms of like HVAC and additive manufacturing. These are fields that I'm interested in. So I had a brief idea कि ये colleges हैं इनमें apply कर सकते हैं because GRE देने से पहले थोड़ा सा research करना is good. जिस college में apply कर रहे हो उसमें GRE का requirement कितना है. So for example, NYU had a 320 score requirement, but COVID की वजह से that year they made it optional. Like most colleges did. So these were on my shortlist, and like how everything.
So did you get the TOEFL also, or it was waived off?
No, I took the IELTS because
Okay.
IELTS was like they said either TOEFL or IELTS, anything is fine.
All right.
I took the
They are
IELTS.
generally asked for both, any of them. Yes.
Yeah,
So see,
yeah.
Aditya, you prepared for GRE and you got a good score, like, and in a month that is an amazing feat, right? So why NYU only? Because I wanted to understand, because mechanical is a field for which the information is not that abundant. So we need to get more info around what is the reason behind choosing NYU for the mechanical or the other colleges which you have shortlisted. So what was the thought process?
Okay. So I was looking at what kind of research was going on in those colleges. So
All right.
that's a really important part of it. The second thing is you can go to the curriculum and you can like read that if you're doing a master's in mechanical specifically, or if you're doing a master's in mechanical and aerospace. So what the curriculum has and how relevant that is to you and what you want to do in your career after that. So if I go to a college that has like a curriculum that focuses a lot on manufacturing, and I want to go into like research or design, then that will not help me.
So any specific research you found at NYU or the other university which actually on which you get stumbled upon?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. NYU is doing a lot of research in composites, materials, additive manufacturing, and a lot of fluids and thermals. So, and New York also has a very vast HVAC industry that's like heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. So, it's a very relevant sort of parts to go to. Like NYU has good professors in thermal and fluids and additive manufacturing specifically. So, if you're interested in those fields, then NYU is definitely a good place for you to be.
Any other colleges you were considering along with NYU?
Yeah, I was considering ASU. ASU has really good faculty for mechanical.
And really good numbers of Indians also, like, and ASU has a lot of Indians. Yes. Yes.
I was also looking at Rochester, RIT.
Anywhere where you got the reject, and you can, if you can just discuss the reason.
Lots of places. I actually also applied to a college in Italy and in Germany because both of those are very like connected to automobile sector, right? But the German college had a very strict language requirement. Like their course was 60% in German, so that was not.
Which was that university in Germany?
That was Aachen, RWTH Aachen.
Okay, Aachen. Okay. All right.
And I got rejected from like, Michigan and.
Any specific reason you can right now think about that? Like, why you got the reject from Michigan?
Why I got the reject? Yeah, I think I look at a couple of things. It could be because Michigan has a very strict GPA requirement. When you convert your Indian GPA out of 10 to the 4 scale that we use in the US, so I think they need something around 3.4 or 3.5. Yeah.
Yours is around 3.2, 3.2. Yes.
So that was, I think, the main reason they rejected. Because other than that, I think like the professors there are really good, and my profile was also sort of aligned with the kind of curriculum that they have. But yeah, the GPA was a problem. Cool.
So Aditya, how you're financing your studies? Like, have you got any loan or like you're doing it on own?
Yeah. So New York is firstly very expensive, and on top of that, NYU is also like very expensive. So I got a student loan from Indian Bank, and like fixed rate of interest, and it only covers the tuition. Like you can't use it for personal expenses.
All right. So how was that? How was the process for getting the loan? It was easy or it was less like a bit tough?
Process was very lengthy actually, because they require a lot of documents. They also require collateral because to get a loan above 25 lakhs.
So what is the interest rate you are paying on your education loan, by the way?
Mine is currently 7.75.
7.75.
Yeah. All right. A lot of people also go for like other financial like organizations like Leap and Prodigy Finance. Yeah, but they have variable rates of interest. So it's a little.
All right. So Aditya, you have landed at like the New York University, and so what was your first experience after landing at the university?
First experience was that everything here is really fast paced, and no one has time to like take things slow. And when you're here and you're living alone, then like you have to manage everything. Like your housing, your cooking, and travel, academics, looking for internships, looking for on-campus jobs, everything. So it gets a bit hectic, but I think after 1 or 2 months, you sort of settle into it.
So when you landed over there, how was the location of the university? Like how far it was from the nearby airports and all? Like I just wanted to understand the benefits or any disadvantages of the campus.
Right. So New York has 3 main airports: JFK, LaGuardia, and EWR, that is the Newark Airport. So I landed at Newark. And I think most of the Indians who are studying in at NYU at least, I think most of them stay in Brooklyn. And NYU has two campuses.
And why so? Any specific reason of staying in Brooklyn only?
Main reason is because Brooklyn is much cheaper than Manhattan. Like the same room in Manhattan will cost twice or thrice as much more than it would cost in Brooklyn. So I think most people prefer to stay here. And also NYU has two campuses. The Tandon School of Engineering, which is my campus, is located in downtown Brooklyn. And the other the other schools, like the business school and the art school, film school, they're all located in Manhattan, downtown Manhattan. So staying in Brooklyn is convenient. You take the subway. It's $2.75 one way. So it's convenient.
So how you actually manage the accommodation? Were you planning from India only, or you used some as a public forum or any WhatsApp group actually used to get the accommodation, and how did you sorted that?
So when we received the admit from NYU, they sent us a link to the NYU admits Facebook group. So in that group, everyone was listing out their preferences, their budgets. So people found each other through the Facebook group. Otherwise, we asked to be added to the existing NYU WhatsApp groups. Like there are lots of groups that seniors are in. So we contacted some seniors who were already living in.
So are those Facebook groups public? If they are, you can just please mention the name.
So it's not public, like it's private, you have to be accepted, and only once you get the admit, you can join that group. But there are other groups called NYU Apartments and NYU Housing that are public groups. So you can enter those. And there's also one more group called New York City Housing and Rentals. So you can enter those groups publicly. You can find places, even if you don't have an admit. So that's the easiest way. You can also look in other websites like Zillow, but there's mostly a broker fees involved with that. So if you don't want to pay that, then it's better to contact someone directly.
So how much you're paying for your accommodation?
Currently, I'm paying $700 per month, and that is just a room. On top of this, you have to pay utilities like electricity and gas and Wi-Fi. So that comes to around another $100 a month. So $800 plus your cooking, like food and transport. So
So you spend around $800 a month type, right? 800 to 1,000 type, right?
Yeah.
So it was about the expense, and now about the earning. What about the internship opportunities and in any job which you have done so far? How tough is to get in?
Yeah. So most important thing is that when you arrive, or even before you arrive, NYU has a portal called Handshake. So they keep listing on-campus job opportunities on Handshake. You can directly apply there. You mostly need a resume and a cover letter. And you can apply to opportunities in multiple departments. So for example, if I'm in mechanical, मैं film school के लिए या फिर physics department के लिए भी काम कर सकता हूँ. Like there are opportunities like graduate assistantships, teaching assistantships, research assistantships, and there are also other opportunities like you can work as a data entry, or you can work in like the library, and there are lots of options. And the minimum wage for a graduate student is $26.75 an hour.
That's something good from others.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. It's one of the highest.
Generally it varies between 16 to 20 at other universities, right?
Yeah. And you can work up to 20 hours a week, although the role can be different. So that can help you pay your living expenses very comfortably.
All right. So Aditya, how tough is to get in? So first of all, how many Indians are there? Like how did you manage to get into the community of the local people, and how welcoming they were? How is the campus life?
Okay. So first of all, like the campus that we have, it's kind of an open it's like an open concept. So like there's no gated campus for NYU specifically.
All right.
It's just there in the city. Yeah. Like you just walk. There's one NYU building, one more NYU building, and there are other offices nearby. So it's like that. When I got here, there are lots of Indians here. Like you won't feel like lonely or alienated. बहुत Indians हैं, बहुत अलग-अलग like age groups के Indians भी हैं. There are master students, lots of us, especially in Brooklyn, and then there are working professionals also. And यहाँ से पास में New Jersey है, and New Jersey has a very big Indian community. Like they have a street which is called Indian Street. वहाँ पे mostly सब Indians रहते हैं. अच्छा Indian खाना मिलता है. So it feels like home there.
And where do you go for party? Because I can see the guitar in the background. So where do you go for party and all?
Yeah. So New York has like amazing party spots. You can go to like Manhattan, you can go to Midtown, you can go uptown. Even Brooklyn has some really good party places. There are good like bars and clubs. Everything is here. Broadway is there. You can go to Times Square. So there's a lot to do here. Definitely, you'll never feel bored.
Great. So coming back to your job and the internship part, how soon you got the internship or the job once you landed at the university?
Right. So first, when I landed, I was focusing on getting an on-campus job. So in my first semester, I got a TA-ship. I think I got that within 2 weeks of landing here. So you apply on Handshake. The professor reaches out to you. You have a small interview, and they let you know.
So it's not tough. It's not really tough to actually get the job, right?
I don't think it's that tough. You just have to be very proactive in applying because there are lots of students. NYU is a big college and jobs are limited. So as long as you keep actively applying and making sure that your resume and like a cover letter matches the job, then I think you should get it.
So that is why I asked the campus life first, how many Indians are there? So because with the Indians, it generally becomes more competitive. We all are like same breed, right? Yes. So
I think especially at Tandon, there are at least like I would say like 40% of the people are Indians and a lot of Asian people, and the rest of them are like not from everywhere else. But yeah, Indians are definitely a lot in number.
All right. So the pay per hour generally remains like around $26, like something like that, right? Or it increases.
So that's the minimum.
That's the minimum. All right. So what is the status of current internship at which you are?
Yeah. So for internships, I think if you're a computer science student, you can start applying in October end or November. So companies like Amazon and all, they start screening the applications from October end and November. Me being a mechanical student, like companies aren't screening us at that time mostly.
So how much they get? Sorry, I'm asking the question beyond your specialization. How much they get paid? Your com science friends.
Okay, so for the internships, for the internships, I've heard anything from like $40 an hour to $60 an hour. So that's very good. And
and what about yours now? What are the companies who are actually coming for the internship? What are the options you have, please?
So NYU has career fairs there. You can interact with recruiters and companies there. But like in India, companies come to college for placement. Like यहाँ पे वैसा नहीं होता. तो
majorly about the internship first. Like we can come to the job later. But what about the internship? And what are the companies who are actually visiting in your campus?
Right. So for internships also, I'll first talk about mechanical specifically. New York has a very good consulting, job sphere. So if you want to get into technical consulting, like you can work as a supervisor, as a consultant or advisor for projects. There are companies like there's WSP. There are a lot of tech companies also actually, which do hire mechanical engineers. So my internship was in Apple. I worked with Apple over the summer.
So what kind of profiles they offer at Apple for the mechanical graduate?
Right. So most tech companies which are into hardware also. So Apple is lead into hardware. So they have like mechanical design roles. They have CAD. They have analysis roles. They have thermal roles. So like dealing with the cooling of like laptops or understanding like how the battery is heating the device. So things like that. They have some validation roles. If you're interested in like, validation of design validation, so they have roles like that. My role was related more to batteries.
All right. And how much they pay in the internships?
So internships, it varies a lot by the companies. I was paid around $50 an hour, which is a lot for mechanical engineers. And the average is around 35 or 30 or 35 for mechanical engineers. But Apple pays very well. Similarly, Tesla also pays well. Tesla takes a lot of mechanical engineers in different roles. And I think the average for Tesla is around 42 to 50 based on like how many years of experience you have after undergrad. So I came straight after my undergrad. I don't have like full-time work experience.
So what is the count of students taken by Tesla for the internships and everything?
Tesla is very selective. So like I think around from maybe like 1,500 applications, they maybe take like 5 or 10 people, or maybe less.
That's quite competitive.
Yeah, and it's very hard to get in Tesla.
So in India, generally we have that TCS type of company who is coming and hiring in bulk or getting people in bulk. Do you have any company like that with hiring a lot of interns from your campus?
So in the mechanical industry, there are a lot of, like I said, consulting firms here. So there is no like a mass recruiter kind of thing for mechanical at least. But for CS, I know that there are. For CS, a lot of people do get into Amazon. And people here commonly say कि Amazon India में TCS के जैसा है, मतलब ले ले.
अच्छा, yes. So nothing for mechanical. So you just need to apply and it's quite distributed. All right.
Yeah.
So coming next to the job part, the placements part, have you got any job offer so far?
Not yet. Actually, abhi all the major companies are laying off. Like Meta just laid off people. Twitter, laid off people. Amazon also laid off people. Apple is not hiring this year. So अभी थोड़ा सा डाउन है मार्केट यहाँ पे and people are expecting कि थोड़ा रहेगा अभी next year.
It is a tough time.
So मतलब for all the people who are looking for jobs right now, it's okay. Like अगर अभी तक नहीं मिला है, but like my roommate last year, he got his job in like April beginning. So it's okay. मतलब process चलता रहता है उस time तक and ऐसा नहीं कि अगर नवंबर तक नहीं मिला तो कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. So I'm also
हाँ
interviewing.
मतलब ड्राई तो नहीं होता होगा, मस्ट बी थोड़ा टाइमलाइन बढ़ जाता है, राइट? सो ऑलराइट. सो आदित्य, what is the average package you get after doing masters in mechanical from NYU?
So average for last year, like based on last year's data, it was around 85K per annum. So that is pretty good. Like if you're living in New York, 85K is a good pay scale. Usually computer science people at entry level, they get around like 110K. But उतनी disparity usually India में भी होती है computer science firms में and mechanical engineering core companies में. So वो है, but there are some companies like जो mechanical engineers को भी like plus 100K pay करती है.
Can you name some?
Yeah, like all the big firms like Apple and Google, Tesla, Rivian, Lucid, these companies, even Intel pays well. Like they all take mechanical engineers. So ये लोग अच्छा pay करते हैं. There are a lot of defense companies here, defense and aerospace companies here, जो mechanical engineers को hire करती हैं. But it's they have very strict like secret clearance, like security clearance policies. So a lot of times they don't hire Indian students because of that. तो उनको US citizen भी चाहिए होता है.
Yes. I think it's quite obvious for them. All right. So, Aditya, I just want to understand how different is the teaching methods in your university than VIT. You did your B.Tech from VIT, and how are the professors? If you can name any professor which you like, to whom you like most, so please.
Yeah. So यहाँ पे सबसे major difference is this कि यहाँ पे professors अपने subject का curriculum, timeline, exams कब लेने हैं, किस format में लेने हैं, they decide that themselves. So for example, there's one professor, Professor Nikhil Gupta. He's Indian and he taught me additive manufacturing. So he decided that we won't have any written exams. We will just have projects. So that's one difference. That's one major difference. Like कोई quiz नहीं, कोई written test नहीं, कोई exam नहीं. But you learn by doing the things. So that's one difference. दूसरा difference ये है कि I feel here teachers are a lot more open for discussions and like clearing doubts. If you ask them to take extra sessions with you, they'll do that. If you want like some help with your homework, like at least I feel that they are a little more helpful in that sense. Like in India, you are expected to know those things and you have to do it on your own. Maybe
anything you don't like about the course curriculum, or you think that should not be there. Any aspect of your teaching method, or about the course you don't like.
You mean here in New York?
Yeah, in NYU.
Yeah. So sometimes what happens is that because this is a master's course, so sometimes things get very deeply theoretical. Like पूरा formula कहाँ से originate हुआ वो समझ के फिर उसके basis पे question solve करना. See, this is one thing that people in the industry will not ask you about. Like people when you're working, they won't ask you to actually derive those things. They will just expect you to know those concepts.
Okay.
तो जब तक आप वो concept समझ पा रहे हो तब वो ठीक है. मतलब if you want to do a PhD, for example, तो it makes sense कि आप उतना डिटेल में जाके वो सब समझो.
हाँ मतलब इंडस्ट्री कनेक्ट वाला थोड़ा सा इशू हो सकता है.
हाँ वो थोड़ा ऐसा इशू है.
So that will be great. Aditya, I just want your last few word about the aspiring students, why they should come to NYU, and especially for the mechanical student, because you are a mechanical student, right?
Right. So major thing is that you should ideally know like where your interest is. I'm not saying कि you should know कि तुम्हें इसी जॉब में जाना है, but तुम्हें पता होना चाहिए कि मेरा इंटरेस्ट क्या है. Like मैं डिजाइन में इंटरेस्टेड हूँ, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में इंटरेस्टेड हूँ, एनालिसिस में इंटरेस्टेड हूँ. As long as you know that and you fix like a goal in front of you that this is the kind of work that I want to be doing, then a lot of opportunities will open up for you. So specifically, NYU has very good labs, NYU has very good professors, NYU has very good teams, project teams. So there are project teams that are working on autonomous driving, there are project teams working on wearable robotics. So as long as you know what you're interested in, opportunities बहुत हैं यहाँ पे. And because the Tandon School is associated with NYU, so a lot of like other chances also open up. So you can work with professors from like the physics, data science department. Like me being a mechanical engineer, I can work with professors who are like working in computer vision, image processing. So मैं वो सब combine करके कुछ एक outcome की तरफ उसको use कर सकता हूँ. So a lot of like cross-disciplinary opportunities are there if you're interested. And also one last thing, like being in New York, it's not just about like NYU as such. It's about all the companies that are here, because some very big companies are based in New York. And
yes.
having access to NYU. So, for example, National Grid, it's a very big like power company here in New York.
Yes.
So
Right.
it's based here. It's right next to our college. A lot of professors from NYU have worked with National Grid. So you can get that exposure from the professors कि हाँ ये सब industry में होता है, ऐसे मैं खुद को prepare कर सकता हूँ. And so last thing is that NYU has very good career counseling services. So they'll take a look at your resume, they'll take a look at your profile, they'll suggest कि तुम क्या improve कर सकते हो. And so yeah, I think it's good in that aspect.
Thanks, Aditya. It was quite insightful. Thanks for joining us today. So thank you, our users. If you liked our video, please like and subscribe our channel. If you need counseling, please connect with our counselors. The link is given below. Thanks.